everybody to Out of the Ordinary. Okay. Welcome everybody to Out of the Ordinary Podcast, where we talk everything extraordinary in sports. This is our first episode, and today, what a great time before the NFL season starts to start with the New York Giants. We're going to do a off-season recap. We're going to talk about the free agents, the drafts, the new defensive coordinator, Daniel Jones. We're going to get to a lot here. But
about Brian Burns.
Brian Burns is probably the biggest name. But before we get into all that, I just want to do a quick of what this channel is going to be. It's basically going to be New York sports talk. Obviously, if news is big, like, LeBron gets traded, Joe gets hurt, we're obviously going to cover that. We're going to do all the major sports. We're going to do, we're going to dabble in other things. Big new WNBA, Call of Duty League. We'll have podcasts and then clips of every topic, just so if someone wanted to only watch football, they could do that as well. We'll have playlists and all that. So, with that being said, I think it's time to start our topic. We got the Giants season expectations. So the first thing I want to start with is a general team direction. I've noticed the way building the team at first, they took Daniel Jones, and the team around him didn't really work too well. Obviously they had skilled players like Quan, they had good defense players as well. But the overall team just wasn't good enough, especially for Daniel Jones to succeed. My question or my analysis is they kind of shifted to now they're building team, and maybe after this year of Daniel, they're waiting to fill in the quarterback. So they're starting a new kind of rebuild with the team first, and then trying to plan a perfect quarterback in. What are your thoughts about that? What do you see about the team direction? What do you like? What do you dislike?
If I'm the general of the Giants right now, you gotta rock out with Daniel Jones for this season. And if he has a season like he did, 2 years ago, where he had a good season, brought us to the playoffs. We beat Minnesota. So it's not like Daniel Jones still doesn't have potential, especially.
I don't want to go too deep into Daniel Jones because that's where we're going to end the segment, talking purely about Jones. But just in a pure team build aspect, what do you think about building the defense, building the O-line, building offensive weapons before getting the quarterback? Because a lot of times you get the quarterback, then you mold the team around him. Now, is it kind of like a 49ers thing where you build out a solid squad and then you kind of start across a Brock Purdy? Like, is that something the Giants look to do? Just finding a quarterback?
I mean, first and foremost, the offensive line depends on Evan Neal, in my opinion. If Evan Neal can perform this year, with Andrew Thomas, I think we will be in the right direction on the offensive line. Because Andrew Thomas started slow too. And now look at him. He's one of the best offensive tackles for us. The dude's a brick wall. And then you get Andrew Neal to develop like that, I think the line will be good. And on the defensive end, you just added Brian Burns to pair up with Sir Lawrence and Tibble. So you got a good offensive line.
That's me.
Got a really good defensive line, I meant, not offensive. And then you also got our rookie this year in the draft, and who was our second draft pick?
So we do that. Next topic is the draft. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get out of our screen here, and I'm gonna go straight to the browser. I got everything loaded up. Not this one. This one. All right. So next topic is the draft. Bring up our second round pick, Tyler Newman. These are our draft picks. I'll quickly read them off. We got Malik Neighbors first round, of course. Tyler Newman second, of course. Drew Phillips, cornerback in the third. They also got Theo Johnson, tight end, Tyrone Tracy, which I'm actually a big fan of, running back out of Purdue, and Darius Musau.
I mean,
which I don't know too much about.
Let's get off the basic real quick. Malik Neighbors, absolute beast. The dude has potential as Jamar Chase in the NFL. Deebo Samuel. Week one preseason, no targets, no receptions. They didn't even bother with him for some reason. But week 2,
now we got a whole segment for Neighbors. So go too deep, but trust me, I got clips from these couple of preseason games we're gonna get into. He's looking good. He's looking good. So I have a question for you. Obviously, we lose out on Xavier McKinney, safety.
Big loss.
Do you think I'm gonna go out on a whim here, but do you think Tyler Newman and Drew Phillips being second and third pick for us, does that make an immediate impact? Do you see Tyler Newman as someone who can come in and impact the team now, or do you think it's gonna take a couple years?
Newman, I mean, last season in college, he had 5 picks as a safety, which is very good. 5 picks last year in college. But he's not, I'm not saying he's not great all around. I just feel like it's going to take a little bit for him to build up to NFL standards. Could he be in the Pro Bowl eventually? Yeah, why not? I don't see why not. I think the kid has potential. Second round pick, I hope he does very good for us. But I see him being some crazy safety, maybe in the future, but very unlikely. I say good at most. That's not going to make you lose games. He would definitely help you win games, but I don't think it will help you win right now.
Well, I think I've seen some concern about his, run defense. I mean, he is a ball hawk, and that's what the Giants need. They need someone in the secondary. So
I don't hate it on that team.
I don't hate it. If you had to give the Giants a draft grade, what would you give them?
I give around a B+.
That's fair. I'd even give them maybe an A-, just because at the moment I didn't see like many players I'd rather pick over the players they took. I think they did pretty well. I'd probably give them a B+ or A-. So let's get into Gettleman. Since he's been here, how do you like his drafts? How do you like his free agent signings? Do you like the culture he's built? You don't hear much talk about GMs usually.
I mean,
if they're doing their job, but
if you want to talk about his free agent signings, losing Saquon was big. We cannot deny that. Yes, we got Singletary. Yes, we drafted Malik. Yes, we drafted Newman, which is those two look good, especially Malik. He might be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL in the next couple years, depending on who his quarterback is, of course. Do I see us heading in the right direction? Yes. Do I see it being a championship team anytime soon? I do not.
That's tough. Tough.
And Giants fans are very passionate, so I'm not worried about the atmosphere with Giant fans. Of course, we're passionate about our team. We've seen them win. It's not like we never seen them win. We know we got culture, we got the fans. Do I probably make a stadium for ourselves and get a MetLife? 100%. Do we need that? Would that help us go in the right direction? Probably. Probably a new stadium, a new atmosphere for us.
Do you think MetLife is cursed?
Not that it's cursed. It's a big venue for 2 small market football teams right now with a bad field.
A small market teams.
I mean, the Jets, even with Aaron Rodgers and who they had team, I'm not going to go out my way and say the Jets are a top 5, top 10 market in the NFL. Like the Cowboys,
Maybe
the
not top 10.
49ers.
Maybe not top 10. Well, all right, we covered the GM. About the head coach. How do you feel about Brian Dable? How do you like his play call? You know, sometimes it can rough with play calls. Granted, a lot of the plays that get blown up from Brian Dable are on our side of the scrimmage line. So, I mean, how much is Dable? How much is the offensive? But how do you feel about Dable?
I like him. Who is our I can't remember his name. Who was our last coach? Had that one good season, and then got fired to like year 3.
Bob McAdoo?
Yes, I don't think he's anywhere near McAdoo. I think he's better. He came from a winning team in Buffalo to help the Giants in his season as a Giants coach make the playoffs. I said before, where we beat Minnesota. He knows how to win games. He knows how to coach. Does he need help by the players too? Of course. He's not around the greatest players like a Mahomes or Tyreek or Jefferson or Jamar Chase, where you have that solid offensive piece. And yes, he did have Saquon, but his health was always an issue for him. And
when he was healthy, the line.
that's true too, but we're thinking about running backs real quick. What do you think about Singletary?
I think if you have to play Saquon, Singletary isn't bad. Is he as good? No. Is he half as good? Maybe.
I mean, could we all agree that the Bills have a worse offensive line than Houston?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that.
So then, speaking on that, Singletary in the Bills in 2022 had 819 yards with 5 touchdowns and 42 first downs. So he's not gonna be that heavy end zone rusher.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're definitely not gonna have Singletary act as a workhorse. I mean, yeah, I don't see that. But I think if you're getting rid of Saquon and your team was half built around Saquon, there's not many backs in the league. Obviously, you can pick Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, you can pick um,
Derrick Henry.
plenty of good running backs. But if you need a solid guy to replace Saquon in that kind of rough play style, I think Singletary's not bad.
And it's not like not averaging yards per carry either. 2020, he was 2022, my bad. He was averaging 4.6, and then on Houston, he was averaging less yards, 4.2, but he also got 898 yards, 4 touchdowns.
I don't think. I think the biggest thing we'll miss from Saquon is not the fundamentals, because there's a lot of times where I remember Saquon fumbling or whatever, making mistakes. I think you could get someone that does fundamental Saquon. It's those random 60 rushes or those 3 in a single rush to get to that. And those are the plays that really make a difference. Saquon, Singletary will get the job done, but he's not going to chew 14 points out of nowhere in a quarter or something with amazing runs. He's capable. He will do it sometimes, but to the level of Saquon's just an athlete.
Now,
So I don't know if you heard about the new defensive coordinator package.
no, I did not.
So we signed Shane Bowen, and I'm pretty sure I have it up on Shane Bowen here. So I mean, yeah, he spent 6 years in Tennessee. He led some good defenses. You have to remember Tennessee did have very good defensive players. But the biggest thing is he runs a 3-4 scheme, and as it says here, they utilize Dexter Lawrence as a nose tackle, which will be a lot better for rushing the passer, you can imagine, because now you got Dexter in the middle, you got Thibodeau and Burns rushing on the outside. So that gets scary because I mean, we'd had last year, I remember countless games where Dexter Lawrence is a right end, left end. What the hell is this man back in the middle? That's like the biggest thing when it comes to that signing. But do I think there's an ant on my? Do I think it makes us like an team now? Like instantly better defensively? No. What I really truly believe is the big thing about our defense that nobody's talking about, which will lead me into our next segment, is Deontay Davis. And I don't know how early I'm jumping to. I'm jumping really early. Okay, so we're gonna say Deontay Banks, but right here I got. Let's just talk about defense pickups. Let's segue into the defense now. So you mentioned Burns. I mean, I had
last year he had 20.5 sacks, which is amazing compared with as a speed rusher, and compare the big power rusher with Dexter Lawrence and then young Thibodeau, who has speed. too.
I mean, you can see on the screen right here. I mean, Brian Burns is just an insane athlete for his size. The way he, I mean, hits this spin and just has this tackle lost out of his shoes. I mean, the tackle has to turn 360 degrees all around. He's already at the quarterback, which the quarterback's at the ball out. But this move is insane. I mean, he's going to be beating tackles all day with this, especially with Dex inside and Thibodeau from the other side. And
But now,
yeah,
how does it affect tacklers that with the new tackle rule on the defensive end, where you can't wrap your arms around their legs and like twist?
I mean, at the end of the day, the rules. Got to play anyway.
No, exactly, but
Every team got the rules. Obviously, it nerfs a little bit. They might catch a couple other penalties, but that's up to the coaches to teach them how to fix that. I don't know if you can see my screen, but I mean, Brian Burns is an animal.
Of course, we all knew that. There was no doubt in that. That was you gave up a couple picks, right? Like a third pick.
Nothing crazy. I'm telling you, it was their fleet. Trust me. They gave up everybody. Carolina should sell the team. That's what they should.
Now, speaking of Carolina, real quick.
I mean, Brian Burns, I have here written in my notes, 46 sacks in 80 games. I mean, if he could just keep doing that, that will help a lot. Other defensive acquisitions that we made were Jalen Mills, DB, Philadelphia.
I like
Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, Matthew Adams, and we also have Darnay Holmes and Isaiah Simmons return. How do you feel about the defense? Where do you see holes?
Cornerback for sure.
Okay.
We got some good linebackers. I can't think of his name right now, but the dude we traded for, or actually signed out of Indianapolis, that linebacker. Pretty sure he's middle linebacker.
Okay.
He's solid for us. He's good. He's just gonna get better. He's still young. Then you got Deontay Bank, which has a bunch of potential. Our best cornerback right now. Then Isaiah Simmons, which I always liked him when he was on Arizona. I think he's a very good linebacker for us. Nothing too crazy, but
I also real quick about Isaiah Simmons, he can also move up to safety.
That's true, especially with the loss of Xavier.
Yeah, so that helps with that for sure.
Now we still have Xavier on this defensive team. I think we will be the old defensive team where we had Landon Collins, Snacks, AP. Not as good as that defensive team, but it will be in the direction of our defense again.
See, I remember with those defenses, you guys like I remember Marcus Gold, and this is off script, but I mean, I'll just look up Marcus Golden here. I remember we traded him to the Lions that year. He was doing really well. But my point here, and it said he just retired, so salute to him, Marcus Golden. But my point is, when you have a good team and people are making plays, it's going to open up opportunities for other guys. I'm not too sure why his guys aren't loading here, kind of.
If we want to win games, it's going to have to be on the defense for us to win games.
So right here, he plays where? Yeah, right here. So this year with the Giants, this would be 2019. That's the defense you're talking about?
Yes.
That era? Yeah, so he played left outside linebacker for us and 10 sacks. And then he got traded to Detroit the following year, and he had 4.5 sacks that year. Um, but the year after that, he again drops 11. So, I mean, when you have other players doing well, you'll have surprise. You'll have, a backup do well all of a sudden. Because all you got Thibodeau, you got Dexter. Now you're, third string D lineman, fourth string D lineman can get in there and find openings to have success. That's how winning's done when everyone's able to make it. That's the ideal situation. Just keep stacking talent. Keep stacking talent. Eventually, Detroit, they just kept drafting talent, drafting talent. Look how many they got. Laporta. I don't even need to go through all of them. You know. Um,
Defensive tackle.
let's switch back to the offensive side of the ball for a little bit. Let's talk about this offensive line. Um, they got some help. John Runyon, Jermaine Ellie, could say that. Matt Nelson, these are three linemen that we picked up, brought in. I don't know how Matt Nelson's going to play, but Runyon and Jermaine should definitely play. How do you feel about them?
I think the line all depends on how Evan Neal plays. No matter the situation, we got a good center. We got Andrew Thomas, who is an absolute dog. And then it all depends on Evan Neal.
I like Runyon. I like Jermaine. I think that where we are as a team, these are two upgrades right away compared to what's on our roster now. My next topic here on this O-line thing is, does Evan Neal lock in?
This season is going to be a step in the right direction for him. It's going to be iffy, shaky, but he's going to have more. Okay, he was able to hold his block for, let's say, Singletary to run 5 yards up the field for that first down on a play. Or, okay, Dan Jones is under pressure. Evan Neal comes in and to hold a pickup block to help Daniel Jones either get the ball away or for Jones to run out of the pocket and scramble. This is Evan.
Is Jones even gonna be running? I mean,
he can run though.
I understand that. But he was hurt.
I mean,
what do you think is the probability that Singletary has the best year of his career? Not meaning the Giants are good necessarily, but that Devin Singletary individually, statistically, has his best year.
I think it's high. I think it's a very good chance. He's not. It's not like he's a nobody.
Let's pull up Terry stats. Let's do that.
Like I said, 2020 had 119 yards in total with 5 touchdowns on Buffalo. Then the year after that, he had 2020 on Houston. He had 898 with 4 touchdowns. he's not a big touchdown guy. He's not going to be getting the ball in the red zone a lot. But do I see him making big plays in the open field? Yeah, 100%.
I agree with you, but I think what you're failing to realize a little bit is that he was playing for Buffalo and Houston. He's a very good pass catching running back. Not as good as Saquon, obviously. But if you look at his stats, I mean, he's getting 50 targets a year, a couple 40 receptions, 200, 300 yards. In a system that plays going to running back, he might see a touchdown increase. I mean, if he's the main lead running back, I mean, maybe he grabs 8, 9 touchdowns rushing. Maybe he grabs 5 or 6 receiving. Because if he's getting the calls to pass, then he'll be a lot better statistically than he was.
I can't lie. That's a very bold statement you made with all them touchdowns.
Well, I think he could get. I think he could get up there. If he stays healthy whole year as lead back,
which he always been healthy,
I can see him getting 14, 15 total touchdowns. Especially if the passing offense isn't working for the Giants.
I could see about 12 in total, 5 or 6 rushing, maybe.
But I will say
5, 6,
it
7,
depends
8.
because Tyrone Tracy popped off and he becomes the starter, which is not likely, but can happen.
I mean, he had a very good week 1 preseason game.
Yeah, I've been big on Tyrone Tracy. I thought we could pick him higher, but we ended up getting him later. So I was like, okay. I remember seeing him.
Let's talk about our
Singletary is definitely not bad. Let me just check. What did you say?
What do you think about our receivers? Let's start off with this.
Well,
do you think it's possible for a Giants receiver to get 1,000 yards this year? Let's start done with Odell Beckham Jr. in 2016.
No, I'll see it. Who knows? Maybe Allen Robinson. I don't know. I can't see it though.
Robinson will be the likely receiver if it does happen to get that 1,000 yards.
No, it would probably be like I can really only see Neighbors. I don't know if Juan's that consistent or will be that consistent. I would say Nate. That's really the only one.
From what I've seen about Neighbors play in college and highlights, the dude could catch a 5-yard catch hook and run it out for an extra 10, 15 yards. That man has the speed of Tyreek Hill, has the movement of Jamar Chase, but the only thing he lacks, which is not bad, but is his height.
I think that matters a lot.
No. But I was watching something actually. They were saying how he is better athlete. Not really in words, but he is a better athlete than Marvin Harrison Jr. But the only thing, the difference between them is Harrison's height compared to Neighbor's height. Besides that, I think Neighbors is a better rapper.
Well, since we're on the Neighbors topic, I do got some Neighbors clips.
And could
I got
catch
two
better.
Neighbors clips. This is the first one. I mean, I'm not too sure. See it.
No.
I mean, really, he's just athletic as hell. I mean, the last person this athletic we had on our team was Odell Beckham Jr. It's probably not close.
Tell the truth. Okay, I want your opinion. Do you think Neighbors has more potential than Odell?
I don't know, because Odell's. Oh, man, that's tough. Got another clip here while I think about it. This is from the game versus. I'm trying to think now. The Lions?
Detroit?
You can see Neighbors right here. Cuts to the right side. He's on the outside. Obviously, you would expect him to be looked at after motion like that, obviously, because he's so athletic. Wide open, wide open, wide open. Calling for the ball, wide open. Daniel Jones throws it out of bounds. That is bad. That's not good.
Okay.
Because if Neighbors is doing his thing, Jones just can't, you know.
Do you think somebody like Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock could have an opportunity to be the Giants' #1 quarterback this season?
I think it's possible, yeah. I think it's possible for sure. I have a question for you, though. If Neighbors is what he's hyped up to be, and he's able to make an impact right now on this team, do you see a receiver, maybe tight end, maybe Bellinger? Do you see someone else breaking through? Because obviously Neighbors will draw those and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, and if it's anyone, it will probably be Slayton.
You know, I don't disagree with that at all.
Because we were mentioning Robinson, we were mentioning Bellinger, but not one time we mentioned Slayton.
And I don't have Slayton's stats in front of me. I'm not gonna pull it up, but he's a consistent guy. I mean, sure, he had his downs. I remember a couple of years ago he was dropping passes pretty frequently, but I mean, he's been good. He's been our best receiver, like consistently wise. Like obviously Shepard's better, but
We got rid of Sterling Shepard, no?
I'd have to double check that. I don't know if he's on contract anywhere.
I'm pretty sure he's a free agent. He totally slipped my mind. I cannot lie about that.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. Do you think Shepard will break out this season with Tampa Bay?
No.
No, even with Baker Mayfield, not bad back, but not
No,
as bad as Daniel Jones.
I think Shepard's good at this point.
Okay.
I think even recently, past 2-3 years, you could see that.
Even as a number 3 on that Tampa Bay wide receiving group,
I mean, is that white guy?
you got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin,
They got
and
that
then
little white guy, Miller.
yeah,
Ryan Miller. I don't know who I'm talking
his
about.
name, but it's Miller.
He would be both Shepard.
I think the 3-4 on the Buccaneers Shepard. I think he would be a piece for that team.
I do agree though. I definitely think Slayton. Let's try to move on here. We got Waller.
Waller's a big loss for
Obviously, what is it?
you. Saw what he did against
I want your
Buffalo.
opinion. I did.
We were down by a touchdown. He scored a touchdown. If I remember this correctly, it was a little bit ago. I was watching it actually. He scored this touchdown. He drew a pass interference actually to give us another play with 0 seconds left. The ball, it would have been a touchdown catch if he caught it. And then same play, Waller in the back of the end zone, and Daniel Jones right in his hands. But it was another pass interference call that the refs didn't call, which cost us the game against the Bills in, what was that, like week 2, week 3?
Pretty sure it was 3.
I do think Waller is a big loss for us. Do I like Banter a lot? Yes. Is he having a decent season? 2 years ago, before Waller showed up, yeah, I liked him a lot. Do I think we should have kept Evan Ingram? 100%. I'd rather have Evan Ingram right now than Darren Waller and Bollinger.
Yeah,
On this
I agree. I definitely agree. Someone I do want to mention though is Jack Stoll. We got Jack Stoll. I like Jack Stoll. He's a monster physically. He can run for his size. I think with the right development, he could become a pretty good tight end. Here, I got a segment about Deontay Banks, great young quarterback, 6', 200 pounds, still explosive, like he's 5'5". We already talked about it. He has the potential to be a top 10 corner in the league. I think he has good hands. Is he a guy that's going to do a bunch of interceptions? No. Is he going to alter balls? Yes. Is he going to deter quarterbacks from throwing his way? Yup. Is he going to lock up good wide receivers? I believe so. I mean, yeah, I just think he's really good.
I agree with that. We've seen what he did. I think last season when he covered Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson,
He did damn good.
and Justin Jefferson, I don't think he allowed more than 200 to 300 yards on those 3 guys combined.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Deontay Banks, he's got to be, man. And people say the cornerbacks are bad, but Dory Jackson, that's not a bad number 2.
It's not the greatest as a number 2.
And if Andrew Phillips, 3rd round cornerback we picked, is decent, at least you'll have 2 decent backups. I don't spend too much on that because we went over that. Next segment, I'm going to give this completely to you. I want to know if we'll feel the loss of Xavier McKinney, or will our draft picks, Deontay Banks, and the Isaiah Simmons, Brian Burns, the crew that we got, kind of fulfill the loss?
No. I think Xavier was a standout defensive player for us, a standout safety, even though we got new, but Xavier would have been a big piece to help Nubin grow into a top safety in the league. Because we can't lie, Xavier was, I could possibly see a top 10 safety in the NFL right now.
Top 6, top 7. He's really good. I mean, maybe not top 7 in skill right now, but
Overall,
I mean, the Packers paid him a ton of money. And he's young. What is he? 25?
yes,
26?
I don't even think.
It's kind of like an Isaiah Simmons situation, but just reverse Isaiah McKenzie. They didn't want to pay a bunch of money, so they got rid of him. In this case, our guy signed somewhere, and in that case, they got traded.
I mean, I don't think it's not that we didn't want to pay him. I think that Daniel Jones contract just killed us.
So, Max, two things here is second round, third round pick, safety, and corner, Tyler Newman and Andrew Phillips. We really went over it. Let's think then. What do you expect from these two rookie DBs? From what you've seen of them, I mean, should we expect athleticism? Should we expect playing well in a scheme?
I want to see them to be able to.
Because you got to remember, we got a bunch. We got a good amount of defensive stars, right? I mean, we got Thibodeau. You want to count Dexter, Burns, Deontay Banks is on the cusp. Isaiah Simmons is on the cusp. We got a lot of stars, so it's really about filling in the scheme to make all those stars gel.
Do I see them being good right off the bat? Maybe. Do I see them making an impact right off the bat? Probably not. Might take them a couple games. They're probably going to have a down season, get beat off the line.
I fully expect them to get their ass beat a couple times.
Do I want to put them up against matchup against someone like, it doesn't even have to be Tyreek. It could be like a T. Higgins.
I will. Throw them in the fire. If they die, they die. Put him up against Tyreek Hill. If he dies, he dies. All right, this is
you got to put him against Tyreek Hill. You got to give Banks that pressure to make him that number one cornerback. You want Banks to be that Richard Sherman type of cornerback, which I think he has Richard Sherman potential.
It could be better. Let's not act like Sherman's like a top 10 corner anymore.
Okay.
He's good. Sherman's nothing crazy. I mean, there's...
From what Sherman playing his time on Seattle,
he was good. But
locking down Crabtree like that.
I could have locked down Crabtree.
Come on now. Don't act like Michael Crabtree's a bum.
No,
Crabtree was a somebody.
He was good on the waiver wire for me.
That was one.
Daniel Jones. I'm just gonna ask you a question, all right? This is how we're gonna end the Giants segment. Is Daniel Jones good?
That's a good question, to be honest with you. Because we've seen what he did 2 years ago. Well, he was in. I don't think he was in MVP conversations, but
Not even close. He had 14 passing touchdowns.
okay, yeah, no, not one bit. But Daniel Jones,
I think he had
was a winning
6 or 7
quarterback.
rushing touchdowns.
Daniel Jones at that time was a winning quarterback. We could rely on Jones, and that's the only reason we paid him, because of what he did that one season.
Yeah.
Do I think he should have put him in? Do I think we should have done that? No, I think we should have let Eli ride out his final season before Jones even hit the field, and then hit the field the
Let's
next
not act
season.
like the last 2 years Eli wasn't good.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about Eli's last season. We weren't making it nowhere with Eli as quarterback or with him not as quarterback.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones should have stayed on the bench, because that was the same year Daniel Jones got that neck injury. I'm pretty sure the same neck injury messed up Andrew Luck. And once again, the same neck injury up this season, because we can all remember, or last season, we can all remember there was rumors that Jones wasn't even going to touch the football field again after that injury. Like I said, it was basically the same injury Andrew Luck had. No, I'm not comparing Daniel Jones and Andrew Luck. We all know Luck's a better quarterback by miles.
By galaxy.
Exactly.
I was one of the people who thought Andrew Luck was the best in the league. When imagine if Andrew Luck was on those Patriot teams, man. I don't think he would have lost once.
You see,
He would have beat the Giants. I'm telling you right now. If the Patriots had tough ass Andrew Luck hit, he would have been able to get back up and throw the ball.
Okay, I got a question real quick.
Or even Eli. Eli would have won. Come on.
Do you think the Giants should go out and trade for running back, someone like Jonathan Taylor?
No, because I think if you're going to do that and spend a bunch on a running back, you should have just paid Saquon and paid the extra $5-6 million rather than getting Singletary. That $5 million is worth less than 2 seconds or first that you're going to need for Jonathan Taylor.
Or do you think if it comes to it, because team thought about Justin Herbert?
I think a slower roll. I think Singletary's all right.
Okay, I'm not saying.
I think Singletary will surprise. I think he'll have a career year. I think he'll have over 1,000, maybe 1,200. I think he might grab 7, 8, 9 rushing touchdowns. If we utilize his catching ability, he could get 5 receiving touchdowns without if he's getting the calls called for him, or the plays called for him.
And how good our offensive line blocks.
That's fun every year as well.
Exactly.
I want you to predict the stat line for Daniels.
I say if Jones is healthy, 3,500 yards. What, you think that's too much?
Has he ever even gotten 3,500 yards?
To be honest, I think that's an app for a quarterback. Okay. Let's do around.
Let me give you these numbers that Daniel Jones got, just so you have an idea.
Jones, don't make me feel stupid now.
There's 3,500 passing yards. You might have to. Let me go to Pro Football Reference. Okay. So last year, I'm not going to count that. 909. The year before that, his high is 3,200. The year before that, 24. The year before that, 29. The year before that, 3,000.
So my saying isn't that bad. Okay. I'm gonna go with.
I mean, I will say though, 3,200 yards. I mean, that's not amazing. I mean, the air yards per completion, 5, might be a problem.
I'm gonna say this.
But I will say 2022, 7 rushing TDs. So
Daniel Jones.
I can't argue with that.
33,000 yards or
3,300.
3,300 passing yards over 150 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns.
I think he'll get more 150 yards.
15 passing touchdowns with at least 20 interceptions. I feel like he's going to throw a lot of picks this season.
So that's the kicker.
I feel like he's going to be heavy on the interceptions.
I'd go low 3,000, maybe 3,200. I'll go maybe, if he stays healthy, 16 passing. I think they'll run him a little less. So 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. I could see that being 2 or 3, honestly. And if he gets better,
but now if
he's down.
Who would you like to see as the Giants starting quarterback?
For the post Daniel Jones there?
Mm-hmm. Tommy.
Out of those two?
Those will be our backups.
Out of those two, I would pick Luck. I just think he has a little bit better of an arm. He will throw more interceptions than Tommy, though, because he will take more risks.
Now,
what?
No, you can finish your statement. My bad.
No, I'm done.
Now, we all know how a bunch of teams called the Chargers to see if Justin Herbert was up for trade talks. If Justin Herbert is back on the trade block,
back, yeah.
What do you give up?
I would say Lamar Jackson. Herbert is probably like my second favorite quarterback. You have 2 first-round picks. You'd have to give up maybe player. Like, they won 2 first, and like, damn, I wouldn't even really know what they would want. They definitely won 2 first because they definitely want a player back.
Would you have to include Daniel Jones in that trade?
They wouldn't. They wouldn't want that.
It's better than
They'd
whoever.
rather. Well, no, because I think they're back. Oh no, that was for some reason I was thinking it was Tyrod. I don't know, but where's Tyrod? Is he on the team? He didn't look bad when he was with us.
I don't know, to be honest.
He's probably on the team. Oh, I think he's on the Jets.
That's not a bad place to play.
Yeah, because they probably needed someone. He just got hurt. All right, so we're wrapping up the Giants. Segment. I want you to predict the Giants' season record and their placing in the conference.
So, I think we're gonna be third. There's no way we'll be better than Philly, and there's no way we're gonna be better than the Cowboys.
So
but
you say third. Think they get to 7 wins?
We had 3-4 close games that we could have and we probably should have won. One was that Buffalo game, and then the other 2 I don't remember, but they were close enough where we should have won those 2 games. I could say 6, 7 wins. Maybe we have a good season, 8 the max.
I'll agree with you because I'm a fan, but I think there's at least some things to look forward to with the team. Obviously, the main thing, neighbors, Burns plays, how the defense clicks with the rookies, the O line is any better. If Daniel Jones could step up, or if he cements that he's gone after. If Daniel Jones doesn't work out, I'm sure there's plenty of there's plenty of quarterbacks backup.
You gotta look at this
backups on teams.
Sanders.
But I mean, there's backups on teams that are better than Jones.
You trade for the Cowboys backup.
I'd trade for Kyler Murray. If Cardinals are bad and they're like, okay, we want to get rid of Murray, you're like, okay, he's on a long contract. Give you Jones. His salary matches up for this year. You don't got to pay him after this year. He's a free agent. Throw some 2 seconds in there. You should get it done.
Or can you go somewhere cheaper like Trey Lance on the Cowboys?
Probably, but Trey Lance just hasn't played. I think Kyler needs to be in the right situation with the right weapons, but I think if he has the right situation, he could be explosive. Like, I think he's good talent.
Who, Kyler Murray?
Yeah, he's athletic. Not the most amazing arm, but it's good enough.
I think he's on a solid, young, talented team. They got a young tight end. They just drafted Marvin Harrison Jr., who's a big boy. That's a big body.
I agree now. I agree. Well, I was just saying in the instance, because if they didn't draft Harrison and they were bad, that might be a situation that we'd come across.
Topic to bring up. If the Cowboys CeeDee Lamb do not common ground on a contract, and CD becomes a free agent, do you sign him?
If we can make the money worth, don't sacrifice so much of the team. I don't. I don't oppose that at all. So this next segment is the Yanks. All right.
Before we get
How
into
much?
that, I want to say congratulations on a great career to Joey Votto. Is Joey Votto a Hall of Famer?
You know what I'll do? I'm gonna let this AirPod charge. Right? Do you think he should?
100%.
Okay. So take a couple minutes while this AirPod charges. The floor is yours. I want you to convince me 100% that Votto's a Hall of Famer. Because I never really liked him in his career, but I never hated him. I knew he was good. Convince me.
All right, well, luckily for me, I got stats. And remove my candle so I don't set me on fire. So Joey Votto retires at the age of 40. Played 16 seasons with Cincinnati. And at the end of last season, beginning of this season, he signed with the Blue Jays. But then the Blue Jays released him. So 17 seasons in the MLB. Very long career. 6 All-Star appearances. 1 Hank Aaron Award in 2010. MVP in 2010. A Lou Gehrig Award. A Gold Glove. Played in 2,056 games. Has 1,171 runs in his career with 2,135 hits.
That's fine.
356 home runs with 1,104 RBIs. 80 stolen bases, which he was never a speed guy, so 1,365 walks career, 1,640 strikeouts, with a career batting average of 294 and a career OPS of 409, which I think is good enough to be a Hall of Famer.
What about the ring situation? Did he ever win a ring?
No, he was on the Reds.
His whole career?
Mm-hmm. You got the MVP.
What's his career high in home runs? Didn't he have like a crazy year 1 year?
I can imagine him having a career of a season of 40, 45 home runs.
That's
And
what I
this
was
was
saying.
when
Could have sworn I made 45.
and this was when hitters weren't big and MVPs mainly mattered on batting average, home runs, of course, counted back in the day, and things like that. But Joey Votto was in his prime. Baseball was a different league is now, where batting average doesn't mean nothing more. If somebody could hit a 190 with 100 home runs this season and probably still win MVP.
Well, not because I just knowing it, but
Oh, of course, but I think if somebody bats a 190 with 100 home runs, I think he'll get the MVP.
no doubt. All right. Well, now I'd say you convinced me, but now I want you to recap the last Yankees game. I know you did that, so I'll let you do.
Hi. So last night's game against the Guardians, we had Cortez Chin, who's been up and down this season, which is sad to see. I'm a big Cortez fan. I like the way he pitches. But he had a very good out year. 7 innings pitched, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks on 3 hits and 104 pitches to make him a 7-10 record this year. What do you think about that outing?
I wish we see more of that Mister. A couple years ago, I mean, people forget. What was it, Seattle before? I mean, he was good. I mean, 2.83 ERAs.
He was good last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Nestor we know. That's the Nestor we used to. This year and towards the end of last year, we started seeing these games where maybe he didn't look as comfortable. I can't really tell what the problem is. Maybe not locating, but it's good to see him back to what he's known for.
And then our batting, we were actually doing good on that today. Label went 2 for 4 with 2 runs, no RBIs, like walks or home runs. Soto went 2 for 4. This is actually a big game for Soto. 2 runs, 5 RBIs, a home and a walk, which that home run gave him 36 on the season, which is the most home runs in a single season that he played in, which is big for him. Because that's what I hope his contract extension, sure, if the Yankees get him or not, that man deserves to get paid, which I hope he stays in the Bronx. And then Judge, another big game, 2 for 3. He got taken out the game for some reason. I do not exactly know why. And Trent Grisham placed him later on in the game, but he went 2 for 3, 2 runs, RBIs, and 2 home runs, what brings him up to 47 RBIs. And you have Stanton,
That's a lot of home runs.
the best hitter in baseball. If not, could be the best hitter of all time at the end of the day. Stanton, 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Austin, 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Volpe, 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Verdugo, 0 for 3 with a run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Oswaldo Peraza, 0 for 3 with a run and a walk. And then Ben Rice, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
Let me ask you a question.
Talk to me.
All right, I was making sure we're connected. Aaron Judge, 47. Couple questions I have for you. Think he gets 60? Read this already, but do you think he's the best hitter in the league? Is he the best hitter you've seen? I mean, is he a top 10 player all time by the end of his career? What has he done to the Yankees? The culture, the winning, although we don't have that chip yet. But explain just the overall impact of Aaron Judge.
You didn't ask me this question, but I'm going to say my opinion on this.
And the captain.
The only reason I say this, and I might get hate for this, if Judge had 5 championships, I think Judge would be a better player than Jeter.
100%.
I think Jeter would still be as one of the Yankees' greatest players of all time. But I think Judge would have the spotlight Jazz. By the time it's all said, if Judge won 5 championships.
There's a lot of people that will say Mike Trout's better than Jeter.
I mean,
but how?
It's an argument to make, which is unbelievable, especially in his younger years. I seen Mike Trout and Derek Jeter play against each other in 2014 when
how many playoff series has Mike Trout played in?
Probably 1 to 1. To be honest with you.
And you think for 11, 12 years he has no blame in that?
No, he probably does. But you can't blame the best hitter in baseball for how many years in a row?
Who's someone that came up with the Mets? A young guy that's on the team right now.
Pete Alonso.
If Pete Alonso played in more playoff series than Mike Trout.
Did he though?
Yes, Mike Trout played in 1 playoff series.
I don't remember the Mets ever being in the playoffs with Pete Alonso.
2 years ago in the playoffs?
No, 2 years ago they had
3 years ago. This year,
2
obviously,
years ago. I remember this because my friends out here is a big Braves fan, and there was a week left in baseball. The Mets' final series to determine first place. Actually, final 6 games, and 3 of those 6 games were against the second place Braves. But more Cunha now. This is the year the Braves won the World Series. The Mets blew the first place in their division with 6 games left of baseball. Got swept by the Braves, and then the Braves got hot.
I want to go too off topic because we were talking about the Mets a little bit, but all that aside, pretend like this game didn't happen. Pretend like we didn't play this game today. That being said, does it feel like? Because to me it does. And I have a couple points. This is a rough look of a couple of their stats. They got a 251 average as a team. That's tied 9 in the league. So that's not bad. 55 stolen bases. They're 20 in the league. 235 opposing. That's pretty good. 281, 8th in MLB. Pretty good. They hover around 70% caught stealing, which is ass. How are you going to steal 25% of the time?
You gotta think about it, though.
I don't even want to hear
it. No. But who do we have in such Jazz that they were to steal?
That's the problem.
We're not a speed team.
That's the problem. But I say all that, that's kind of a rough look where they are as a team. 250 average, and judging Soto, obviously. And you gotta think that's pulled up because of Judge Soto. If no Judge Soto, the average is probably 220.
We won't be in first place in our division.
We'd be the worst team in the league, probably.
I want to say
55 stolen bases, like last. Decent pitching, top 10 pitching. I see similarities to this team and the 09 team. Judge reminds me of a Jeter and A-Rod in 1. Because he hits the ball so well for average. Soto reminds me.
Jeter.
Well, I was just about to say Soto reminds me of Cano. like that Cano will hit 3 whatever. And Cano used to hit 340 some years. I mean, Soto 340. Soto kind of takes on base percentage is so much to go. So the only thing that doesn't the same is one. The Yankees used to have that. That was the big thing. They had guys.
Position.
Yeah. I mean, what was our weakest position in 09?
Probably somewhere in the outfield. To be completely honest. And it's not even like, oh my God, they need to grab somebody big for the outfield. Like we did before. I'm not saying Verdugo.
Who was in 09? Was Damon there? Damon?
Hideki.
Yeah.
Gardner.
I don't have the guts to call Gardner the weakest player on the team.
At that point, he probably was though.
But maybe like hitting stats, but this man would steal bases. He would earn singles and the triples all of a sudden inside the park. Runs, energy, breaking cans. He was the energy. So, all right, to kind of cap it off, I think they're missing something. I think the pitching isn't what it was in 09. The pitching was way better.
You had CC, you had Avon Cone, Pettit, Mariano.
That's what I'm saying too. Even the relievers, our bullpen has been suspect. Clay Holmes shouldn't even be the starter. I mean, it's bad.
Now, would you rather have Clay Holmes or Capital?
Clay Holmes, but I'd just not want him as a starter. I mean, a closer. So I think the Yankees are missing starting pitching.
I mean,
like a good reliever too.
You gotta remember though.
I'm not saying starting pitching is bad. I'm just saying we can use another guy.
Oh, of course.
Rodon is supposed to be that guy with the contract we gave him, and he's not that guy. We thought Gabby that guy. He looked like that guy. And he looked like that guy. He's starting to look like that guy again. So maybe he's like a 3. Maybe he's like
he's young. It's his first full MLB season.
That's true.
You gotta think we can all. Rodon is having a better season. He's not looking too bad. He's had some iffy starts, of course, but so has Gecko this season. But Rodon definitely picked up some games for us. Has some big outings.
If you 2 or 3 things to improve the Yankees to them a championship team, what would it be?
Definitely first baseman, which one of my plans for the positions I picked after I say my options. Definitely a first baseman. Maybe I'm gonna put this in the same category for number 2. Just pitching in general. Maybe another starter, a couple pen guys, relief pitchers. And then the baseman or another outfielder. Well, you know what? Take third baseman because I believe in
Jazz.
Jazz will be playing second for us once Labor Torres leaves in free agency.
And I guess he was Oswaldo.
Yes, he will be our
I love his swing. If he could put the swing together, it's a nice swing.
Okay. If you're the Yankees, hopefully, I love Gleyber Torres. He's a top 5 favorite of mine on the team right now. I always like Gleyber. But Gleyber, we need to let him go at the end of this season in free agency. He could take over second base. And then, in my opinion, I don't know. I'm not 100% on this, but maybe go after Paul Goldschmidt or even Pete Alonso, which isn't the craziest move. Yet again, you can go out and make a trade for Jose Ramirez, put him at third base, and then move Peraza to a first base position.
Cabrera.
Cabrera.
I don't hate that, but do they have enough money? Abraham, Judge, Jazz, Soto, Rodon, Cole,
Yes.
Verdugo. I mean, yeah, I would hope so.
Now, do you give Cortez with these upcoming free agents as pitchers like Shane Bieber? Who else? Corbin. There's a couple more I can't right now. Shot at and sign and like arbitration to Cortez.
You know who I think we could make good? Paul Blackburn on the A's. I don't think he's great, but I think on the Yankees, how we kind of like take players and recycle them, I think he can make them pretty decent. Or
I'm done trading for ace pitchers.
Or that's fine. I got an Oriole for you. Nice starter. John Means.
Yep, he's one of my favorite pitchers. Every year, I try to get him in fantasy baseball. It sucks because he's been injured a lot.
Hurt last year.
And he's hurt this year.
Yeah.
Which is not what we need. We're a very injury-prone team. The injury bug really hasn't hurt us too much this year, besides Rizzo, Stanton for a little bit, and now Jazz, who might be coming back by... He said it's possible he can return by September, maybe the playoffs. But
He better.
Because Jazz is that. I'm not saying Jazz is no player. He's a 250, 260 average hitter at best. But he also pop out 30 home runs, 35 home runs for us.
What if next year with in the lineup of Judge and Soto, he hits 30 home runs?
Then if we don't win that year, then that's a disappointing season.
I think especially for Jazz.
Because Jazz has that. Jazz could get you 30 home runs and 50 stolen bases. You need to be more aggressive on the base path. And that's what Jazz brings to this team. I'm a big Jazz fan. I liked him on Miami. I was planning on copping a Jazz jersey. One of the city ones with the... Or is that the normal jersey? But yeah, that's not the point no more. Jazz is a big piece. But I wish Verdugo was doing better. I was happy about Verdugo. Do I hope we re-sign him? Maybe. Do I want him on the team? If we get something better? No. Do I feel like we could go after Teoscar Hernandez in free agency. That would be a nice pickup. Do I feel like we can make it?
Stay away, honestly. I mean, he's on a lift. They offer him something. I feel like he'll just stay there.
Yeah, possibly, but you never know. Do I feel like we can go out and make a trade for like a Luis Roberts who's having a down season on a very, very shitty White Sox team? I think I'd be okay with giving up like Jason Dominguez, Spencer Jones, to be honest, because I'm ready to win now. I've never seen us do bad and rebuild, and yes, we had those bad couple years.
Okay,
And
so you get Luis Robert. You make him maybe left field, and then
that's what I have to do.
move Judge to first and start that process. All right, you're the best player we ever had. We're gonna start protecting you. You'll play first. You're gonna play outfield.
Judge
You
said
get
he's
me.
not. Judge said he's not doing that until he physically cannot play outfield no more.
But how do we know? How do we know when he can't? What if
He
all of
says
a
he can.
sudden? But what if all of a sudden it's a torn ACL, and that's the way he finds out?
Then discussions of first base.
Just like Stanton, when we found out, it was too late. He was
I think the difference between Judge and Stanton, take more of an eye on Judge's health. Because he already got that mess up that he broke.
well, I hope so. Well, let's go into the next topic now. We got a little bit of Mets. So, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Aitan? Aitan Levine, the comedian. He threw out his 40th ceremonial pitch.
Which I would say I'm happy that he was able to get healthy, beat cancer. I like what he's doing with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, helping kids with cancer, as people in general with cancer.
And that is a Guinness World Record, 40 ceremonial pitches in 1 year. Yeah, the Mets won. Vientos hit his 20th home run. He's only 24. I think he has the potential to be one of the best hitters on that Mets team. Mark Vientos, ever since he came up, has been a productive player. He's shown power. He's shown off and on ability to, get your simple hits. I think he's a really good player. What do you think? He's only 24. That's pretty young to be, this good. I think they found something in Mark Vientos.
I can agree with that. I think he can help the Mets in the future. Do I see the Mets doing time in the next 2-3 years? No. They got a good catcher behind the plate who's young and has a lot of potential. He dominated the Yankees when he played us. They got
and
that.
I was one of the people saying, "Oh, I don't think he's that good," and like this. I was like, "All right,
catcher,
all right. Yeah, Alvarez."
Yeah, that dude. I already knew that had a lot of potential. But I see him being a good future. Yes. Do I see him hoping to win? Yes.
He's definitely a young player that I look for. He's a lot of potential, especially as a power hitter. I mean, if you're hitting 24, maybe he could get to 30 at age 24. I mean, shit, if you could hit 24, I don't want to know what you do 29, 30. So, Nor and Pete Alonso also having good years. Lindor's hitting around 270. I think he has around 30 home runs. Pete Alonso, up there in home runs, a little lower in average. That's as expected.
But yes, Pete Alonso batting at 243 with 27 home runs and 69 RBIs, with OB with the on base percentage of 3.2. What do you think his contract will be looking like with the Mets or with a different team?
Well, it's not the 40 million. It's, I'd say, around 25, 30, depending on how badly a team wants him.
Okay, so now let's say you're a team like the Yankees who need a first baseman, because we can all agree neither goes done.
I like Ben Rice. I like Spencer Jones. Put his ass first. I think I'd ask before spending a bunch of money. That's the same thing with Rodon. We spent a bunch of money when, if maybe we waited half a year, we could have got a way better option. I think we
So
tend to
you don't want
rush.
to see Pete Alonso in the Bronx.
We see, oh, we need first baseman, pay him. But like,
I mean, we
go
didn't
grab a guy
sign
like
Rizzo though. We traded Rizzo.
why not go grab a guy who could play like Altuve? We don't need a big power hitter. Just get a guy who could just be energy in the line, knock home singles and doubles.
Unless you move Jazz to first.
I'd
But Jazz
rather
said,
call up Spencer Jones.
but Jazz did say he liked playing third base.
Why didn't we move him around wherever? Honestly. But enough with the Yankees.
Yes,
Here for the Yankees.
we're here for the Mets now.
If healthy, do you think the Mets
No,
have a to be a playoff team?
I do not.
You don't think if they get Senga, their ace back, that maybe they make the playoffs? I mean, you don't make the playoffs this year?
Rock hard at best.
Okay. And if healthy, you think possibly better than Wildcard?
Wild card at best. Healthy. I think they are still missing pieces. You do have money at Nemo, who's having. I'm not too sure his season, but from what I've been seeing, I don't think it's what he did last year.
It's not, but I think it's terrible. But when I look at their roster, I don't see a bad team.
No,
But then they
don't have a bad team.
and that's what I'm saying. Their record isn't terrible either. I think they're third place right now.
No, I think they're still second.
Okay.
But you gotta think though, if the Atlanta Braves are healthy,
Baseball, they could get hot.
if the Atlanta Braves are healthy, you think the Mets could still hold that second place in that division?
No. Probably not.
And you think they're gonna be better than Philly?
Probably not.
So that's the only reason I say I don't see the Mets being a tough team without being in the wild card anytime soon. Because the Braves and Phillies are not going anywhere anytime soon.
The Mets do not see orange skies. But you know who does? Or Knicks. What's your New starting lineup right now?
You
Give
know
me
what?
point guard.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Well, on this topic, I wasn't expecting this topic to come into play today.
New York Knicks. Hold on, let me hit the.
So,
Give me point guard. Who's our starting guard?
the top 3 point guard in the NBA, Jalen Brunson.
Give me shooting guard.
Bridges.
Give me small forward.
OG.
Power forward.
A top 3 power forward in the league, Julius Randle.
There you go.
You got no choice. Which is our weakest position on that team. Which in reality really isn't that weak.
Don't sleep on Precious.
I forgot we re-signed him.
Someone needs to get Julius big butt center too. He's big enough.
He played a center a little bit a couple seasons ago.
He'll never be a center.
But now, if you're the Knicks, what do you do to that lineup? You got Josh Hurt, Dante DiVincenzo, McBride, Precious, all on the bench. What do you do to that team?
Nothing.
So I don't think we need another big man.
If you could get it, what team doesn't have a weakness?
Every team has weak.
That's what I'm saying. So if you think Golden State Warriors were infamous for never having a big man, if you think they had Mitchell Robinson, you think they would have been good?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. If we're a stacked team, we're weak at center, but healthy Mitch. If Mitch is healthy, that's a big if.
But that's the thing. We can't rely on Mitch being healthy.
Play him 25 minutes a game. Just let Precious run. Let Julius run. Let Sims run. Conserve Mitch.
We've seen what Mitch could do against centers. He stopped
I don't know if you remember, but in the Cleveland series against Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, he was ridiculous on the offensive boards, and statistically, looking at the stats that set us apart, that's what won us the series.
Same with Philadelphia. He was able to lock down Embiid.
And Josh Hart, too. He got a ton. Like, that's how we beat Cleveland, don't remember. Don't forget.
That's like I was saying. He did against Philadelphia before he got injured. They were to lock down Embiid like Embiid was nothing. I think he can lock down Porzingis because we can all agree Embiid's a better center than Porzingis. And the thing is, there's no center really in the NBA that's 7'3" like Porzingis is. Besides Victor, I think Mitchell Robinson will be able to lock down Porzingis with ease.
Who's better right now, OG or Mikal Bridges?
You see, I'm gonna say OG because I watch OG play than Mikal. But
What about this? I see OG as more as like a bruiser. I think Mikal has more of a. But I think they're pretty equal. They're both good defenders. OG is a little rough because he's bigger. They both could drive. They both could shoot. I think they're
OG
the same, but one's finesse and one's like strength.
OG is what we all wished it would have turned out to be.
Yeah, but at the same time, I didn't expect RJ to be a top 3 defender in the league. That's what OG is.
I think we got great perimeter defense, OG and Bridges.
Me too.
And throwing Josh Hurt coming off the bench. And
Dante DiVincenzo.
yeah, he's done some nasty work on the defense side too, especially at a Philadelphia series. And I've seen some of that in the Indianapolis series. Can't sleep on Dante's defense. Brunson's our weakest defender, which is expected of a point guard of his caliber.
And that's fine.
Yeah, that's not an issue to me.
You see in the Pacers, we throw them on them hard. We throw them on the weakest guy. As long as the other guys are locking up, playing good in transition, getting bored, I don't see a problem with it. Is Mr. Robinson on the trade block for you?
Depending on what we get back in value. I would be open to calls for him, yes. But it depends on what we can get back in value. I would need something better than Mitch. And we can't give that up, then no trades are happening.
What about someone like Naz Reid?
I want to give up Mitch for him.
I would.
You think you would?
Yeah. Naz Reid is good. But I don't think Timberwolves get rid of him. He's good. He's really good.
Now, if Knicks were to go out and make another trade, what kind of trade would you like to see happen?
Can Mitch a pick or two for a center?
Any center in mind, or just whatever we could get?
Pacers won't give us much. If 2 first-round picks get us Walker Kessler, maybe I'll do that.
Now,
I mean, 1 first.
here's another big question. If Embiid is on the board, do you go after him?
Nah.
No.
Nah. Just don't fit. Don't fit. On the court, maybe, but
Guys, no.
yeah.
And this team's built around, like everybody says, our friendship.
That's fair. I got an over-under question for you. Over-under Jalen Brunson, 25 points.
I'm going over.
Well,
We seen what he done. What, he put up 5, 6 point games?
remember, he has more help this year. Julius is healthy. Mikal. OG's hopefully healthy. Dante off the bench.
Dante, it's not even going to be like Dante's coming off the bench. He's still going to get a lot of his minutes. He was starting shooting guard last season.
How do you think Jalen Brunson's going to get over 25.5? Because I think he's going to get a little over that. Not too much, because more help. I think he might average 26, 27.
I was thinking like 28.
That's possible. I just think there's more hope. I'm gonna to do that. I have another question. Does Julius Randle change us from the team we were in the playoffs last year? And how do you think that changes us? How do you think that changes us?
That just gives us another threat. So if they want to double team Brunson, like they've been doing, Brunson doesn't have to find space to get that open shot no more. Yes, I know Dante was opponent in the playoffs for us last year. I know that. But now you give them that other option of Randall that's able to hit that 3-point, that able to drive to the rim and get layup and ones, who's able to play defense on bigger opponents now, unlike it would be. Because Randall could go the 1 and Randall could go the 5. He could go throughout the whole section of it. Unlike Brunson, they will probably to go to 1 or 2 at most.
I think it makes us a little on the inside. Problem. I think we could use the guy to get to throw some juice. If you had to get rid of one of the following, Julius Randle, you're trading this player for somebody. So I imagine one of these got to go. Julius Randle, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Robinson. If you had to get rid of one, you get rid of. And you need a plan. Like you get rid of for what?
Can I do 2 ways of how we can do this?
Sure.
Okay. Because I already know the top 2. Mitch and Randall.
Okay, so I assume Mitch is the worst on the list, obviously, but why pick Mitch?
Because Mitch, you can send to basically any team, right? Mitch, like you send Randall to a team like Detroit, that's not a playoff team, or like you can send Randall to a team like Orlando that could benefit from him, that could make a push for the playoffs. With that, you can send him to even a team like Golden State. You still got Steph Curry on that team. There's no counting Curry out. You could send him to a team like the Lakers with LeBron, with NAE. You could send him to a team like Houston, who has a young core that Randall could be that player to make them a playoff team. You can send Randall to a team like Detroit, like I said, or the Hornets, because they won't have any benefit from that.
I wouldn't put him on the Hornets. LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Julius Randle. I mean, I'd want Brandon Miller.
Of
Or
course.
LaMelo. I'd get something back, but that wouldn't be a bad core. Julius with LaMelo and Brandon Miller. Or maybe you get like Rozier to be a backup PD, but then McBride probably loses. But Rozier, I don't know. There's a lot of different options, different players. The Trailblazers they trade DeAndre Ayton. He's one to look into. Maybe they trade Anthony Simons. Maybe they trade Jeremy Grant. They still got a bunch of players they would probably trade.
Is Malcolm Brogdon still on the Blazers?
Yeah.
Because I feel like Aiden would not be a bad pickup for us. I'm not saying give away Mitch. I'm not saying we give away Randall for him.
Because being drafted overall, he was expected to be like a superstar.
Of course.
So he doesn't have to be a superstar here.
Did he turn out to be a superstar? No.
He doesn't have to be a superstar here. He just needs to 15 and 10. 14. That's better than Mitch. Now the defense ain't as good.
You're losing that offensive rebound and defensive rebounds. Because Mitch put up what? I feel like a solid stat line healthy.
But you can't be perfect. You can't be perfect in every single category. It's impossible.
If Mitch can stay healthy, the Knicks are a championship team.
If you had to put life savings on it, who's the next Nick after Howard to go? Not saying you wanted to have it or you would do it, but if you have to put your money on it, who's the next Nick to go?
Well, we can eliminate Brunson. We can eliminate Josh Hurt and Dante. Those three have a long-term contract with us.
Yeah, they're not going to wear the core for sure. The Nova boy.
I think Malcolm Brogdon also signed an extension with us, I think. Or is planning on. Or Miles Bridges.
Michael.
Bridges.
We're going to have to pay Michael, actually.
He said he would take her too.
We'll see. We'll see when it happens.
But it'll probably be Mitchell Randall. And if anything, it would be Randall. I think Randall will be the next player to leave this team. As a top player, it's Randall. Not counting any of those little pieces we got, it's Randall.
I think we're going to watch the first half of the season up until the trade, and I see how Randall fits. I mean, if on paper, you had two great players, OG. Because remember, OG came at the trade deadline. He didn't play with Randall. Mikal Bridges didn't play with Randall either. So now imagine the next team with Randall who made the playoffs, and now you have OG and McCullis on the perimeter, able to shoot, able to play defense. That's pretty big.
Now, if Randall is the next to go, what are you looking for in a trade for him? What would you need? Absolutely no question about it. This needs to be in the trade. I feel like
it's so hard.
Couple first round picks, no doubt. Like an unprotected, and then maybe like a top 5 protected.
It's such a tough one because it would really depend on the team.
Which can agree on, I hope, that we're trading Randall. It's going to go into a contender team.
I can see something like, it's really tough because you got to find a team that he fits on. To be honest, I think he fits on Detroit. Him and Cade, Ivy, and
Okay. What do you want back from Detroit then?
or maybe the Warriors, and you say, hey, Kuminga, or you could call and see about Clint Capella in the first. Clint Capella and someone else who could play some forward.
Randall's worth more than Clint.
That's what I said. Either a player or a first one. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about getting a star. I'm worried about fitting the team together now. And if you have Nick Clint Capella, damn.
Now, if you were able to get Clint Capella, would you do it without giving up Randall Mitch?
Yeah.
Or big superstars?
But imagine you trade Randall for like Clint Capella in the first. You could play. You could always have now you have Mitch and Clint, but now you could always put Precious at power forward. Play backup power forward behind OG. OG plays power forward. You could have Dante, Mikal, OG at the four.
Which wouldn't be bad. But do you think OG can lock down power forward?
Yes, he locked down Embiid.
That's true.
Played good defense on Embiid. So before we wrap up, I want one last statement about your goals and how you feel about the podcast. This is episode 1.
So, my goal is for this channel to grow, of course. I want to build a community that could talk about sports openly. Any team, anybody, any sport, soccer, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, UFC, boxing. I want to be able to talk about whatever, whenever, however. I want to see good conversations, respect. I want to see people having fun with this channel, enjoying our live streams, talking in the chat. I want to see it get big. Eventually, I hope it gets big enough where we can start doing like, be down to do like tournaments and like 2K, Madden, NCAA, MLB, NHL. Once the channel starts going big, like little tournaments for fun here and there. When it gets or something,
You're paying for.
we're gonna get monetized. But I want to see it still unable to sell merch when we get to that point of this channel. Yeah, I just want to see it grow and be a good community. I don't care about getting monetized or not. I just want to have fun, relax, talk to people about sports and opinions. And my plan is to talk to Gonzo about it, but maybe post some type of like rebuild or something like that. MLB The Show, Madden, 2K, some type of rebuild like that, and just do more than just a podcast on this channel. But main focus, of course, on this channel is it being for podcast, so I just want to grow it.
So this is Out of the Ordinary Podcast. But we can also have an Out of the Ordinary gaming channel, ordinary reaction channel, Out of the Ordinary this or that, out of the ordinary thing. Yeah. Whatever comes out of it.
What are your you said it in the beginning, but what are you?
I didn't come right with.
What are your opinions on it?
Your phone. I think we're both pretty words, and we share opinions. We love to hear feedback, comments, and other opinions. Discord, where you can see all the updates. That's where you can join the waiting room to join the show and actually talk to us. Be up here. We have debate rooms in there. We have groups where you could post pictures of going to sporting events. And we'll build that as the community grows. Obviously, day one, we're not even set up. I'm on my phone. He's on his phone. I'm getting a webcam, mic, and all of that. Will be way more official. If not, we do be best. So we'll keep grinding. We'll get better. The quality will be better. We'll get off Discord eventually. And yeah. Much all I got to say.
So, what are your goals for the future of the channel?
Just grow. I don't really have anything. I mean, we have another channel. It's just kind of something I enjoy doing. So, always wanted to have a little sports channel. And I start, even if we don't have all our stuff together, I start.
Getting the grind on.
Yeah. Road to 5 subscribers.
We got a Instagram yet or no?
None of that. The best place to go is Discord. Join the Discord because once we have all that in the updates channel, we posted links and all that. Nobody could type in there, so every link you see in there is safe. It'll just be social links, links, stuff like that. Just like this will be posted to the updates. It'll be top episode 1 with the link. But yeah, episode 1. How do you feel it went?
I feel like it went good. We got some things covered.
In a little minute.
What about an hour and a half to 2?
I don't even know. I lost
Me
track.
neither. I did too.
I lost track. We were just talking. We were yapping.
We got Giants covered a lot. We got some of the Knicks, some of the Yankees, some of the Mets. Later into the season.
One thing I do address real quick before we end it. we do, we will cover some COD here. All right? If I'll be there. So we're gonna cover this esports World Cup for Call of Duty, where FaZe Clan won 800 grand in prize money to them for winning first place. So just the standings here, we got FaZe. They ended up beating Boston, then Optic, and then beat 100 Thieves in the finals. 100 Thieves ended up placing second. Vancouver Surge third, tied with Optic. And shout out to Zuma's team, the Stallions. The Stallions were in there competing too at the Esports World Cup. One of 13 teams, if I remember correctly. So yeah, shout out to FaZe Clan for winning the Esports World Cup. They didn't win, but hopefully they could do that in Black Ops 6. Keep it good. Celium was aggressive, something that we were criticizing him in the champs run. So overall, I think they look good. Definitely look better than most teams. Yeah, pretty much it. I'm just waiting for Black Ops 6 at this point.
And when does that season start? Like February?
Couldn't even tell you.
Also, more towards the NHL season, we'd be covering the Rangers, Islanders, and Sabres. And more towards the basketball season, we'd be covering probably the Nets a little bit more than what we did today.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, we could only get to so many things. So as news happens, as topics come up, we'll get to them.
It's not gonna be every episode. We're not gonna be talking about the Giants, the Yankees, or the Knicks, or the Mets.